affirmation this morning: I take focused, purposeful, persistent action. We find this happens so much sometimes in life. There's something that we desire so much and it doesn't come to us. And sometimes we're actually creating our own buffer because we're wishing so hard. We're just spending too much focus on this. And of course, we do talk here in New Thought about using affirmations and prayer. And so there is a degree of positively affirming things, which is separate than just sitting around, gripping your hands, wishing, and doing nothing about it. Not taking any purposeful action, but just sitting and fretting and worrying and wishing. And sometimes, this creates so much negative energy that you're actually pushing away what it is that you want because your whole world is so wrapped up in this. And so it's good to stand back and say, you know what? I'm not just going to sit and aimlessly wring my hands and fret and wish for something, when what I really need to do is I need to become focused. I need to be purposeful, and I need to have some persistent action. We know also in New Thought, another big part of this is that the acceptance when we don't get something that we want. Learning to accept and letting that be a comfort, knowing that we're being guided and directed in the way that God wants us to go. Because as we've talked a lot, we are here, we're in a very worldly place. We don't have the big picture like God does. So, we think that the opening to this road is what we need, and it may just actually take us to another dead end, whereas God has this bigger picture. So he knows where you need to go and what you need to do in your life. So rather than being disappointed and fretting and worrying when we don't get what we want, of course, as New Thought students, we know that acceptance and understanding, and a lot of times, redirecting our thought process, redirecting our desires to achieve the things that we want. We don't want to sound like a faith that is just here for our own ends, where, everybody come to this religion because they just teach you how to get what you want out of life, and there's no worrying about being nice to other people or leading these lives of example. And of course, we know that I talk about that a lot, about leading lives of example, that there's more to New Thought than simply coming and sitting and saying, okay, I'm going to learn how to get my new color television today. I mean, we go far beyond that, although we do talk about having our needs met and the things and the steps that we need to go through in order to achieve this. And those are through affirmations and through the positive thinking and certainly meditation. If we aren't focused, purposeful, and persistent in our actions, but we're just sitting on the side, wringing our hands, thinking, I wish, that we're actually pushing something away. And it works the same way, too, for I hope I don't let this happen, don't let this happen. I think a lot of us have sometimes, we've gone, to have a test done at the doctor's office, and then, we spend the next 2 weeks, I hope I don't have. And of course, that, unfortunately, is creating its own reality, too, because you're focusing on this thing. And so, and a lot of New Thought tells us that we're manifesting this. So in that situation, we absolutely need to take focused, purposeful, and persistent action in knowing and affirming. We use a lot of positive affirmations, and I was thinking we don't use like negative affirmations, but I was remembering back because one of the most instrumental affirmations in healing was Myrtle Fillmore's affirmation. And of course, as many of you know, it was Charles and Myrtle Fillmore who founded Unity. And her affirmation was, I am a child of God. I do not inherit illness. And so we can see that, there is some connotation of the words are negative there. So we have to be careful with how we say things and how we word it and how our thought process is going, because we don't want to just rampantly go out and, be using affirmations that are actually not going to take us where we need to go, or they're not really affirming what it is that we want to affirm. So the question, ask yourself, what do I fret about? What am I standing on the sideline wringing my hands about? The ostrich sticking his head in the sand when something bad happens, because you too, you can, as a human being, because we're human, we're walking this human existence, get to that point where something is so overwhelming and so challenging that you just want to stick your head in the sand and wring your hands and hope that it just gets better. So when you find yourself in that situation, it's ideal to stop, look back and say, am I being focused? Am I being purposeful? And am I persistently doing something positive to take care of this situation? And the good news is God is with us and within us in all circumstances, in all situations. our faith allows us to take this focused, purposeful, and persistent action, knowing that we are at all times guided, directed, blessed, and protected. As the Serenity Prayer, which I think many of you are familiar with, notes, God, He does grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, or to accept, the unanswered prayer or the unanswered thought or ideal that we were searching for, because sometimes what we think we need isn't there because there's something bigger, there's something better ahead for us. So accepting the things that we cannot change, and of course, having the courage to change the things we can and the wisdom to know the difference. So by taking focused, purposeful, and persistent action, we can change things in a positive way. And by stopping the overwishing and the fretting and the wringing the hands by the side of the situation and jumping in and being focused and purposeful and persistent, we can indeed achieve the lives that we as New Thought students know that we are supposed to live, with great happiness, great health, and great prosperity. It's all right there. And as you go through the week, ask yourself, what am I fretting about? And stop and take that purposeful action. Change your worry, change your anxiety into a positive, focused action so that you are taking things in the direction that you need to go to get this positive affirmation, this positive need, this positive result at the end of the day.